James White, Boxing Social, in association with Empire Fight Store and R Kings. I'm here with Dev Sahni. First of all, Dev, how are you? You okay? We're in Nottingham right now.
I'm good. We are in Nottingham. Good to see you, mate. And have I been to Nottingham before? Once, to visit Ezra Taylor in a gym. But other than that, I haven't. So I haven't really been around yet. I've heard it's all right. So I'm going to have a little walkabout. And yeah, looking forward to Saturday. That's the main reason we're here. Not to have a walkabout in Nottingham, but to watch two fellas punch each other's heads in.
Two fellas that really it's a 50-50 fight. I can't split them. I might have to ask you if you can split them, but first, just talk about the whole card. It's a great card.
It's, you say the main event's a 50-50. I would agree with that, and I'd say there's 50-50s everywhere on the card. I look at Troy Jones against Ezra Taylor. Both of them unbeaten. It's 11-0 versus 12-0. You look at Liam Davis stepping up to featherweight against a guy who's stepping up in level with Kurt Walker, who's done so much as an amateur. That's a 50-50 fight. Owen Cooper against Chris Congo, 50-50 fight. It's fantastic. It's such a good show. And yeah, I think the main event, it just has to deliver, doesn't it? When this Nottingham crowd is going to go absolutely bananas for everything that Leewood does, I think it's going to be an absolute belter.
Do you think it goes the full 12 rounds, or do you think the winner does it inside the distance? Because Cacace hasn't been stopped as a professional, and obviously Leewood's got the power. Sort of a mix of variables there.
I honestly don't know. I mean, I'm not sure I've ever seen Anthony Cacace hurt. Leewood is stepping up in weight. He's been inactive. He hasn't boxed since October 2023. In that fight with Warrington, he was losing, and then he turned it around. You know, that's what he does. He's got that. He calls it the Inoue reverse card. I don't know. I genuinely don't know how this fight's going to go. He referred to the Nottingham crowd being a superpower for him, so it could be a factor. It could be a factor. However, will it be a factor against someone with the mentality and hunger of Anthony Cacace? I don't know. That's the question.
Has the southpaw Cacace, is that a variable? Last time Leewood fought a southpaw, James Dickens.
Yeah, Dickens, right?
Yeah. He didn't get the result that night. Could that be it?
It could be. Cacace kind of... Do you know, I only kind of remembered earlier that he is a southpaw, but he switches a lot, like a lot, where you forget. Because I was looking back at clips saying, well, but he's just boxing like he's orthodox. So I think what we can say is he's awkward. I don't think anyone's ever had an easy night against Anto Cacace. He's only lost one fight in his entire career, and that was a close fight many years ago. So will the southpaw make a difference? I don't know. Anto said something to me earlier. He said he wins this fight how he wants, and maybe he can box how he wants to get this done. Leewood's he'll have a lot to say about that.
Moving on to last weekend's boxing, I just want to hear your thoughts on it was Canelo's skull, Ryan Garcia lost, Devin Haney with a performance that many people had a lot to say about. What was your overall opinion on the weekend?
Can I be honest? I didn't really watch any of it. So I've seen little bits, I've seen highlights and stuff, but I was sort of having a week of catching up on myself and sleep and stuff. But from what I've seen, Canelo got the job done. They set up the Crawford fight now, which will be fascinating. You know, they're two of the greatest boxers actually of all time. I'm looking forward to that. Ryan Garcia losing to Rolly Romero probably overlooked him, didn't he? He didn't look like the same Ryan Garcia that we've seen before, and Rolly's probably quite underrated. Big fan of him, by the way. It's like some of the things he comes up with in interviews. He's like as a character, he's hilarious. I think Rolly Romero. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Garcia bounces back. Devin Haney is going to be. He's become one of those characters that people are talking about him, right? I think he's talked about this, like having this kind of Mayweather-esque thing where he's almost encouraging people to dislike him so that he generates more interest in himself, therefore gets more money when he fights. Essentially, that's the game. That seems to be a route that he's taking, playing the role of a little bit of a heel. But yeah.
And Inoue fought the weekend. Now the fight we all want to see, and I talked to Frank about it before, is obviously Nick Ball. Did you, if you were in Inoue's camp, would you be saying you got to stay away from Nick Ball? Do you think that's a thought process going through their mind?
I don't think Inoue is scared of anyone, right? I don't think the people around him are scared of anyone. He might be the best fighter in the world, Inoue, but he is starting to show a little bit of vulnerability, perhaps a little bit of recklessness, and if he does step up to featherweight, there is a massive ball ache waiting for him.
I like it. Frank said about Nick Ball's next opponent being announced later this week, potentially. It's a difficult one because you're trying to set up that big fight. The names out there that you still want a test, you still want him to keep on progressing. That is a difficult position to be in, making an opponent like that.
Yeah, I don't know who the opponent is. I don't know, so I'm a bit out of the loop there. But looking forward to hearing what it is. I know that Nick Ball is never in a dull fight. That TJ Dehaney fight was a cracking fight. Before that, Ronnie Rios was a cracking fight as well. And he needs someone that he's going to be up for, and he's been up for the last couple. You know, the fights that he had against Vargas, where he should have won. And then the fight with the American Ray Ford as well, where he did win. Yeah. He's a very active, brilliant world champion, isn't he? So I'm looking forward to seeing the return of him.
And moving on to the heavyweights, things seem to be happening with the AJ Fury. We've seen AJ sparring Akoli, and then also Fury, little Instagram video with Sugar Hill. Rumblings seem to be happening. Are you, as a fan, hopeful and confident that we potentially could see it?
I mean, every time you look on social media, it's a fight that people are always talking about. Tyson Fury posting almost these kind of teasers in the gym with Sugar Hill. The truth is, I don't know, and you can never second guess Tyson Fury. It feels like that's the factor here. It's Tyson. Right now, he is a retired fighter who's posting videos of himself training. We know he trains anyway, and he's going to need to keep training. He needs to do that in his life just to be mentally well, kind of thing. He needs that kind of thing. So it's going to be up to him. Would I love to see it? Yeah. And I would love to see, if he's going to come back, do it now. He's only he fought 4 months ago, I think it was, against Usyk. Now would be fine, rather than coming back at 40 years old, where his skills have dwindled and we see a shadow of his former self. It'd be great to see him back. But if he doesn't want to come back, he can retire as a legend, which is what he is.
You mentioned Usyk there. Usyk Dubois has been announced at the press conference last week. This situation with Usyk and the low blow, this is something he's never really had to deal with, a bit of controversy. How do you were on the stage when it was all going off, how do you think he's handling it? What do you think he feels about it?
I've done a few Usyk press conferences now. I've done the press conference in London for the first Dubois fight. Not a lot was really said, and not a lot generally gets said by Usyk at these presses. Did the Fury press conferences in the build up to that. He doesn't say much. Sometimes he's quirky. He got Fury to sign a couple of things, but there's no notable kind of sound bites. There's nothing that you remember him saying. It's more his behaviour. His behaviour this time, I saw something different. For the first time at a press conference, certainly recently, I think Marco Huck gave him a little something a little while ago, but he had Don Charles over here going at him. Yeah. He had George Fox over there going at him, and he had Daniel Dubois here telling him that his legs are going to do a funny dance at Wembley Stadium, and he had to act. He could have just not said anything, but he had to act. He had to talk. He had to say things about, I'm ready to fight now. He said that about, I'm ready to fight now if I have to go. He had to defend this low blow incident. And I can imagine as we get closer to fight night now, that low blow stuff's going to be left now. It feels like it was done at that presser and the surrounding media days. But now it's going to be about this new version of Daniel Dubois. But back to Usyk, he had to talk. He was forced to engage at that press conference. Very interesting. Will it make any difference at all to the fight? Well, Don Charles I've heard him talk about mental warfare at a press conference can have an impact. He believes it, probably why he went after Usyk at that presser. Does Usyk believe it? Does Usyk care? Is he stewing over it now? Has it motivated him more? Has it angered him? Is that good or bad for Daniel Dubois? I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting fight. Dubois is coming in as almost a completely different fighter. Do you think he, in his mind, he didn't really say much about the low blow? He wanted to sort of keep it out, didn't he? In his mind, is he thinking, I've already beaten him once? Is that his mindset, do you reckon?
I think he'll know that he can hurt him, and yeah, he does want to move on from the low blow. I think there's a collective understanding that, you know, that was something that happened, right? The controversy around that is something that happened, and it's a story heading into the rematch. But it's kind of been done now, and Daniel knows now that 2 years later he's a different guy. He's 3 wins later. He's along with Usyk, the form heavyweight in the world, and Parker as well, of course. But Daniel's 3 back-to-back stoppage wins, the 3 best wins of his career, has him mentally in a whole different place. And I think he just believes that he's going to knock Oleksandr Usyk out because he's ready to.
Dev, appreciate your time.
No worries at all, mate.